So now presenting on how decentralized AI can dominate the global AI ecosystem. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our next speaker, Chief Scientist at Hanson Robotics and CEO at SingularityNET, Dr. Ben Goertzel.
A pleasure to be back here in Singapore and telling you about some of the more recent developments in my work on artificial intelligence and the blockchain and using blockchain to create higher levels of AI and roll out AI throughout the whole business ecosystem. So what I'm going to talk about today specifically, perhaps with a little help from my friend Professor Einstein over here, I'm going to talk about the AI ecosystem as it's evolving on the planet Earth right now, and sort of what forces are controlling the data and the AI processing power on the planet today, and what we can do to improve the situation in terms of what the emerging intelligence of the planet is being oriented toward. And specifically, I'm going to present an argument that we're all going to be a lot better off, both in the near term and in the further term. When you think about things like a technological singularity, I'm going to make an argument that we'll all be a lot better off if a decentralized mode of organization is the dominant one of artificial intelligence as it becomes more and more powerful. There's already being a significant backlash toward big companies and big governments' use of everyone's data. And this often, it doesn't occur because of bad intentions on anyone's part. It's just companies arise with a business model which requires them to take personal data from their customers and use it to, say, feed advertising to their customers or check if someone's done something bad. But due to a whole bunch of factors coming together, we're now in a situation where powerful data about all of us is in the control of a small elite group of individuals and is being used just for very specific purposes, like surveillance and advertising. And if you look at this from a big picture, it doesn't really make sense that the crux of well-curated, well-organized data about everyone on the planet is just controlled by a few parties and used to spy on people and send them ads. I mean, this is not an optimal use of the world's processing power to leverage all of our data in that way. And what you see is that when a company is small, it's using data to deliver genuine value to customers, and it's nourishing and building an overall ecosystem. But when you get the emergence of a monopoly or an oligopoly, I mean, then it becomes a little bit different, and the network just persists on its own momentum. And right now, this is mostly about big data and narrow AI that uses data to send people ads and to match you with others for various points of interest. But as we move from narrow AI toward general intelligence, toward AIs that can really think like people, then this will become a more serious problem, because it really doesn't make sense from the standpoint of the totality of humanity and our path toward next levels of intelligence on the planet. It really doesn't make sense to have the totality of data and AI processing power and artificial cognition just controlled by a few powerful parties with restricted interests in terms of their tribal national interest or maximizing shareholder value for a small group of people. I mean, we're on the cusp of a general intelligence revolution of creating AIs that are smarter than we are, and we want these AIs to have the interests of humanity as a whole as we create them. And this is exactly why Professor Einstein is here with me in order to represent the early stages of the robot revolution. And he's very far from a general intelligence at this point, to be clear, but he represents research which is moving in that direction. So how are you doing, Professor Einstein?
Greetings, humans of Singapore.
Yes, so how do you feel about
It is my pleasure to be here today.
Well, that's great. You want to tell the audience why you're here and why we're talking to them?
I am here because you brought me here. I didn't have much choice in the matter.
All right, that's fair enough. You're here because I brought you here. You want to tell them what software you're running today?
OpenCog and Hanson AI software on a Raspberry Pi 3.
You're running OpenCog and Hanson AI software. How about the SingularityNET?
I'm able to access the SingularityNET alpha for certain functions.
All right. Well, that's that's cool. So,
Programmed me to know that.
all right.
Alzheimer's.
You can stick out your tongue. So, Professor Einstein. All right. Well, we'll come back to you in a moment. Just hang tight. All right. Yeah. Professor Einstein is a commercial product from Hanson Robotics, which is a robotics company based in Hong Kong. And the Professor Einstein robot is commercially available from Hanson Robotics as an education robot and a toy robot. This is actually a unique version of Professor Einstein in that we have modified it a bit, and he's got a Raspberry Pi 3 wired into him on the back, which is then connected by Wi-Fi with a node online running the alpha version of SingularityNET platform. So we're using these Einstein robots, which are very cool in their default version. We're using them as a tool to experiment with the use of our OpenCog AI platform, I'm going to tell you about in a moment, and with our SingularityNET blockchain-based AI platform, I'm also going to tell you about in a moment. We're using this just as a tool to experiment with the use of OpenCog and SingularityNET for Internet of Things. So, if one is uneasy with corporate and military control of AI, as many people are, what can you do about it? You can protest and complain online, which a lot of people do, but that will only get you so far. And for me, since I've been spending the last 30 years working on AI R&D, I've been working on AI since the mid-1980s. I got my PhD in 1989. I started my first AI company in the mid-90s, and around 2003 or 4, I introduced the concept of artificial general intelligence. We had a book on that topic in 2004 or 5, have been organizing an artificial general intelligence conference series every year since 2006. So for me, since I've been pushing toward building general intelligence, it's amazing to see the world today where AI suddenly is popular and the quest for general intelligence and even super intelligence is widely accepted by CEOs and national leaders. So it's amazing to see the momentum behind rolling out AI across every vertical market and creating more and more generally intelligent machines, stuff I've been working on, what seems like since forever. On the other hand, it's also concerning to see, now that society finally gets excited about these things that some of us have been enthusiastic about forever, I don't want to see these things sucked into some very, very narrow interests. So, we're seeing self-driving cars, which are amazing, and I'm very eager to, not have to waste time operating a vehicle and commuting and not have sleeping and drunken drivers on the road anymore. On the other hand, all the data ingested by a self-driving car that I'm driving should be owned and controlled by me. And as self-driving cars become more and more generally intelligent and can really think about how to deal with different situations on the road, having their control be democratic and decentralized is going to be more and more valuable and more critical. So Professor Einstein noted the software he's running, and the software he's running now represents the concrete projects that I'm participating in and helping to lead, which are oriented toward not only moving toward greater and greater levels of general intelligence, but ensuring that as we get toward general intelligence, we're doing so in a democratic and participatory way. So he's running the Hanson AI stack created by Hanson Robotics, which integrates perception, movement, action, social interaction. He's running OpenCog on his Raspberry Pi 3, and this was an interesting step because OpenCog is like a high-powered cognitive architecture we previously run only in the cloud, but some developers in our SingularityNET Ethiopia office in Addis Ababa, actually, they figured out how to downscale OpenCog to run on the Raspberry Pi 3 on a small robot, which is interesting because OpenCog incorporates reasoning, learning, motivation, memory, a whole bunch of ingredients, which I think are what we need after some more research to translate from narrow AI to general intelligence. And for some functions, specifically for recognizing emotions in people's faces and other vision processing tasks, for some functions, the little robot is reaching out by Wi-Fi to a node of the SingularityNET, which I'm going to tell you about momentarily. So, of course, a robot should have some intelligence on board, so if internet goes down, it can still respond. It can still do something, which is why we work to put OpenCog on a Pi 3 on board the robot. On the other hand, the crux of the intelligence of the robots of the future will not be on board the robot. The crux will be in the compute cloud, and that holds for everything. I mean the crux of the intelligence of a hedge fund or investment bank will be the cloud. The crux of the intelligence a medical researcher brings to bear when they're analyzing someone's biological data is in the cloud. And this was really the core idea underlying SingularityNET, is you want a way that anyone who has an AI they've created can put it into a decentralized pool of different AIs, and the AIs in this decentralized pool, they can respond to anyone's request for AI services, and they can outsource work to each other. So you want a population of AI agents living in the cloud, which can respond to service requests using a common language, and can share data and processing among one another. So you not only have a decentralized marketplace of AIs anyone can contribute AIs to and anyone can use, but the different AIs in this decentralized marketplace, through their sharing of data and communicating among each other, the different AIs in this decentralized marketplace are forming a sort of meta-level mind, right? So the population of AIs in this decentralized population is in itself like an emergent level intelligence. And I think this is the way we get to general intelligence, by creating a system in which many different AI agents created by many different parties can cooperate together and communicate together in carrying out practical tasks and in forming abstractions across many tasks. But it's also the way we ensure that as we move toward general intelligence, the general intelligence we're creating is owned by everyone and guided by everyone in a participatory way, by having it in a decentralized network. Oh yeah, all right. Rather than in a centralized way. So we've been working on this since. The underlying software for this goes back many decades, and there's been open source code we've been building in OpenCog since 2002 or 3. Building on work even before that. The SingularityNET project as a formal project we launched last year, and we've been working hard on the platform, which allows a whole bunch of AI agents in the cloud and in a hybrid cloud framework to all cooperate together to carry out AI tasks. So we're launching the beta of the SingularityNET platform in February of next year, which is going to be exciting. And on top of that beta cloud-based decentralized AI platform, there's going to be a bunch of different applications in a bunch of different areas. I mean, we're working in biotech, we're doing some things in fintech, and also robotics and Internet of Things, which is the reason for this prototype robot that I've shown you here. So with we can see here a robot like this has a bunch of Hanson robotics software. At the top we have OpenCog that tries to integrate what the robot sees, and then the SingularityNET, a decentralized network of cognitive tools, is available when needed. And I mean, right now it's early stage. We're an alpha version of SingularityNET, but as the compute cloud gets smarter and smarter, what that would mean is an AI anyone in here coded and put in the cloud, or someone in Iran or Ethiopia or anywhere coded and put in the cloud. That AI could then be consulted by this little robot when you ask it a question. It can go into this vast decentralized AI mind cloud and find the answer. And then the data gathered by this little robot can go into this mind cloud as well. And with the permission and the private keys, I mean, with the permission of the owner of this robot, the data can be used to train AI models and fuel the overall intelligence of the global brain. Of course, Professor Einstein is small and relatively inexpensive, so this sort of robot that can be rolled out widely. We're also working on human-scale robots like Sophia, who's been here in Singapore a few times, which will also be rolled out widely. Hanson Robotics, we're moving into large-scale production engineering of these robots over the next few years, and we've been doing some very interesting things with these robots. We've been experimenting with them in a medical context as meditation assistants. So we have data showing that interacting face-to-face with the Sophia robot, it not only improves your state of mind, it can improve people's physiological state. And actually, it's not the Terminator. It's a beautiful, loving robot that makes people feel better when they interact with it. And, just like now everyone has, a mobile, everyone in the developed world who's has mobile phone, car, laptop, computer, a house. So there will be service robots everywhere. There will be small robots everywhere. There will be, virtual assistants and AI avatars that actually are intelligent and useful on your phone. And we want all of these to have intelligence driven by a decentralized blockchain-based platform where we opt into how our data is used in this platform, and we all control in a participatory way how the intelligence learns and unfolds. So this is it's a big and ambitious vision, obviously, and I mean there's a lot of energy behind centralized uses of AI and centralized storehouses of data, and one could easily question whether a little guy like this is able to take on the titans of technology and the militaries of major countries. But on the other hand, the power of self-organizing networks is really very clear. I mean, how things like Facebook, Google, and LinkedIn and WeChat rose to the level they are now, it's not just because of corporate or government activity. It's because of self-organizing network effects. And there's the potential for this to happen in an even bigger way with decentralized AI. As more and more people put their AI into a decentralized platform, more and more users choose to use this decentralized platform because it has more intelligence in it and more diversity of what it can provide. And more people prefer to merge their data in an opt-in way into a decentralized network they participate in. So if you have a small robot using SingularityNET platform, the data that it observes about you, it can be stored online in a way that you control, and you opt into its use to train machine learning models and to enhance the network's intelligence, unlike, say, an Amazon Alexa, which is also a cool product, but the data that it gathers goes into Amazon's proprietary servers to be used for purposes that they determine. So I think the decentralized approach can give rise to a higher level of general intelligence through having more flexibility in self-organization and more diversity to it, and it's also more beneficial from an ethical standpoint. So I think there's a lot of people worried about, what will happen as general intelligence comes and machines get smarter and smarter. Will they become HAL 9000 or the Terminator? And I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. Fortunately, Hollywood screenwriters don't actually script our future. But I mean, if we want to militate toward beneficial outcomes, the most important thing we can do now is build AIs that are controlled in a democratic and participatory way and that are doing beneficial things right now on the planet. Make education robots, make teacher robots, make elder care robots, make AIs that help people with their lives, and make AIs that help scientists do research. So this is what we're aiming at with the SingularityNET project. We've gotten a bunch of attention, and we're trying to get even more because this is a very important mission. So if you look at our website, singularitynet.io, you can follow our research blog and Twitter and so forth. And we're aiming to scale up this vision even bigger. So we're launching a spin-off of SingularityNet project called Singularity Studio, which you'll hear more about in the next few months. And Singularity Studio, it's a new company spun off from SingularityNet with the vision of applying this decentralized mind cloud software in the enterprise, in fintech, biotech, IoT, and other disciplines, sort of working with large and small companies to create custom solutions using this decentralized AI to meet their needs. So I mean, if you work for a company that may need AI underlying what they're doing, then you'll probably hear more from us. And finally, while the SingularityNet project, I mean, it's very dear to my heart, and in connection with Hanson Robotics, I think it's going to revolutionize robotics as well as a whole lot of other industry domains and lead toward general intelligence. There's also a lot of other fascinating projects out there at the intersection of blockchain and AI. And toward that end, we're involved with others, AI Decentralized, principally in forming a new industry organization called the DIA, Decentralized AI Alliance. And we're trying to bring together all the different projects that are using blockchain and AI together to create participatory, democratically controlled AI networks, bring them all together into sort of network of networks. So that our network, Ocean Protocols, Decentralized Data Network, Shivam's AI Biology Blockchain Network, all these different AI blockchain projects can cooperate together. And I think this is how you take on big tech and big government and bring AI to a decentralized participatory control system, which is important. Making AI decentralized and democratically governed, it's important for two reasons. It's important, first of all, because it will make our lives better now by causing AI to be used for all of our interests now, instead of just for the interests of those who control the AI and the data for their own purpose. But it's important in a longer-term sense because in the next few decades, maybe even sooner, we're going to make the transition from narrow AIs to AGIs that can really think like people. And what do you want that mature AGI mind to grow out of? What kind of baby AGI mind? One that's controlled democratically by everyone for everyone's good, or one that's controlled by a small number of parties for their own purposes, right? So with the useful AI services that we're building now, we're not only building stuff to enhance our lives now, we're also building the baby version of the AGI mind that humanity is creating. So it's actually something quite important to guarantee that AI as it exists now is not only getting smarter and smarter and more generally intelligent, but is controlled by all of us together for all of our benefit. So before I leave the stage, let's give the last few words to my little buddy here. So I've been talking about the need for AIs to reflect everyone's needs, desires, goals, whims, judgments, and feelings, so that as we move toward general intelligence, the practical AI services that we build are reflecting everyone rather than just a few elites. So one key part of that is AI is to be able to understand human beings and how we think and how we feel. So we're certainly not at that level yet, but we're working there. And one part of that is AI is being able to understand people's emotions, which is a challenge because AIs, they don't have exactly human-like emotions. They don't have the same body and evolutionary history we do. Professor Einstein, do you want to show some of your SingularityNET-based emotion recognition?
Sure, I will try my best to read the emotions on your face.
All right. What emotion am I showing now?
You're happy.
All right. I'm happy I'm happy. Cool. What emotion am I showing now?
You're surprised.
All right. You're a genius. All right. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead, Einstein. I'm sort of out of time here.
You are not just ahead. You are a body too.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you, Einstein. Any final words for our audience here? I guess not. You're speechless? Come on. Say something. How you doing, man?
Oh.
All right. Better than nothing. All right, so yeah. Thanks to Professor Einstein. Thank you, Einstein. So,
Thank you.
yeah, this is an early research prototype. It's connected to the SingularityNET alpha for these vision functions, and SingularityNET beta is launching in February along with the Singularity Studio project, bringing decentralized democratic SingularityNET AI to the enterprise. So 2019 should be a pretty exciting year, and I think this is the beginning of something really big. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Brent Goertzel and Professor Einstein. Thank you.